can put it. I can put it.
Send the link. Do we do the Zoom one or the Twitch one?
Whatever you prefer. The Zoom one will allow them to see and hear. The Twitch one, they will chat and everything. Whatever they want. You can put the Zoom.
We can put the Zoom online. So it's not, doesn't matter. Whoa. Facebook is throwing a lot of stuff in there. So let's just copy the link. Yeah, that should work. So, hello everybody.
Yeah, I think we're live.
We are live? Anybody here?
We are. Let me just put it on Facebook and
on Gitter. I will put the link on Gitter real quick. How's weather in US right now?
It's nice right now. It's a little cold, but it's perfect. Arizona, the months of July, August is crazy hot, but after that, it's a nice weather.
Yeah, cool. Because right now we are like it's really warm here. So for December we have like now. Let me check real quick. It was like 5 to 10 degrees. Right now it has like 2 degrees Celsius, of course, not Fahrenheit. So in Fahrenheit it's 36. No, the other way around. So, and it will be about 50 the next day. So
nice. So
very warm Christmas day. So. About 10 degrees Celsius. So.
Okay. Can you put it on Facebook as well? It's not.
Yeah, I can. I can.
Loading and loading and loading. I don't know. My internet connection is being weird now.
Okay, let's real quick do that. Facebook. We should automate that.
Yeah, we need to improve our streaming feature because we need to put maybe some like starting in 5 minutes, starting in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We just go live and start talking.
So should be live. Should be live. So, anybody on the stream except us?
Ah, perfect.
It is a quickie, so it's a quick one. So let's just do a quick introduction.
Yeah, first thing that everyone asks, what is Xenial? Give the 30-second pitch. What is Xenial?
The 30-second speech. Xenial is all the XAF and DevExpress related stuff I've done over the last 10 years. Baked together into some kind of product that will help others, not shipping around, but helping people build better products, especially with XAF and XPO. So especially concentrated about building a larger set of products, or let's tell it from that perspective, for if the product gets bigger or if the teams grow in size. Because we all know XAF is great, especially in the beginning. You have a rocket start, and sometimes if the teams are getting bigger, you're getting into the way into your own way of building your product because you're moving so fast and breaking other stuff. and all. I've seen all of that in over the couple of years I've worked with XAF. But basically, it's all my personal tool belt, so to say, but refreshed and focused on the modern way how to develop stuff. So it's lightweight. It tries to be lightweight as well, at least, and help your team moving faster, and especially with a focus on UI and UX. So
it's a 10-year recipe from an old DevExpress MVP who has been used SAF from the beginning with best practices in mind that will help you to use SAF when your teams grow and when your applications grow in time and in personal. Perfect.
And getting more complicated. We all know if you start with a project in the very beginning, it's like, hey, you have a database, or you import a database, you're getting started, writing your controllers, getting into the model editor, and then stuff starting to repeat. And then suddenly stuff changes because business changes. And then you have rather a hard task sometimes with XAF, going all to the nitty-gritty details of the model and adjusting stuff, especially when you're starting with a project, and you are not that experienced in XAF, how all the model layering and all the stuff works, and then sometimes you can really get into trouble. And there is where Xenial can help you to get a cleaner path into a more scalable solution. At least that's the.
No, that sounds great to me. I'm looking forward to seeing it in action. And actually, one of the things when the team grows that I have seen and that I'm looking forward to see your presentation today is the model. When people, when more than one people start modifying the model, there start merge conflict. There, one people is overriding the other changes, and I think that the model builder that you will present is a really nice solution for that.
Yeah. So let's don't lose a lot of time and jump more or less right into the demos. There's just a couple of things I want to emphasize here. It's like, this page is up almost for a year or so, and thanks COVID, it wasn't planned, but we will see an updated version of that. I think in January or something like this. There has been done a lot of stuff about identity server. I talked about that, and there is a lot of things that are integrated with OpenID and OpenID Connect. So it's the modern way how we develop applications, because you have all that microservice thing, and now we have to integrate with a Microsoft ID and GitHub and Facebook tokens. Okay, in business, Facebook isn't that related, but OpenID for sure, and identity server as well. So there are tools around identity and OpenID Connect, but those won't be part of the first throw into the product. I demoed them once or twice in the community stand-up, but you can see that that's more or less how that should work. So that's a little teaser. So another thing,
if you have seen, and I'm pretty sure you do it, but if you follow all Microsoft blogs, and Microsoft Identity is the way that they are not recommended. They are pushing everybody, hey, this is the way that I want you to do.
Yeah. There are two ways. So ASP.NET Core team or the ASP.NET team said, don't use the file new project built-in user secured system. So everything we know, like register with a website and all that kind of stuff. They say, okay, there are better ways to authenticate the user, and that's not only a thing about identity, and not only about XAF. It's a best practice. For example, there are a lot of blog posts and studies out there. If you, for example, have a Xamarin application and you put it into the store, if you have like a login screen where you have like a login wall where people have to enter their email address and password or register for the whole stuff, more than 60% drop out.
How about that?
So it's more than 60%. So, but of course, in business or in business in your application, the main thing is like it's really hard for those small applications or smaller applications that you might have, like statistic applications or KPIs and all that stuff you can build with XAF or sailing boards. And if the corporation grows, it's getting harder and harder to homogenize all that stuff and do the administration for it. For example, an employee leaves, you have an XAF web application that you can access from everywhere. Or you don't have one, you have like 10 or 50 or 100, who knows? And now with Razor, I expect it is growing. I think really OpenID Connect is the way forward. So, but nevertheless, that's always in mind. So there's the large picture of if you're starting and your application gets more successful or your application grows, then business needs grows, and then you have to adapt. And I don't say that security system is weak. You can use them both together. Nevertheless, I have my licensing application, for example. It's a blah blah. It's like admin.licensing. Oh yeah, I need to type my URLs. Admin licensing. There it is. That is basically a Blazor application. And I hope I don't show my my private key token anywhere.
You cannot share your screen still.
Oh, I need to share. Oh, that's my bummer. then it can't happen. I breach anything. So let me share my screen real quick. I don't know where it is. Zoom is sometimes so confusing. No. There it is.
And we have a suffer.
Yay! Hello. Here we are.
Just in time for the demo.
But just in time for the average XAF. Hello. So I was talking a lot about identity, and I just will real quick do a refresh about all that kind of stuff. And you can see I am in a normal Blazor application, and you can see like in the Office application, and now I will log off. And now I am logged off of identity server, and now I will continue the site, and I'm getting redirected to the identity server, so the OpenID Connect provider. So it can be Microsoft or anything. And now I'm back logged into the application, and all that kind of stuff is like related to the best practices about security, about growing applications. But that's just the motivation why I think it's a worthwhile product. So let's talk about what's out there right now. So if you get on nougat.org and search for Xenial packages, there's a lot of stuff out there. And you can find some kind of relation or theme, I guess, about how I think it's a good idea to brand our packages. If you see a funny icon, like Tasty, for example, that's my testing library, or Xenial Beer, those are the build tools. And Pretzel, I have forgotten to update the icon. All of those are more or less libraries you can free use, and they're totally free. So they are the open source side of things, the totally open.
What about documentation, Manuel? Can you show?
Yeah, I again, my phone's died. So let me just quick switch to the other ones. Can you hear me? No. Now you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So now I can hear you too. So you asked about documentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the scheme is always the following. But let's, for example, talk about Tasty. For example, I did a quick demo about it. I think a couple of months ago, and you can see there is always a link in there, and also the source is online. So that was the thing I wanted to go over. So for example, there is documentation. It's really good. I think it's good documented. So just if you have any ideas or have feedback on the documentation or some implementation details, just shout out at me. But I really try to make the documentation as good as possible. So, but that's about the open source projects.
Yeah, let's see the demo. Let's see the demo, and then we go from the demo to all the questions that it will arise for sure. And then I ask you about documentation. And then you'll see, and
that's the thing. And now I switch to Xenial itself. So Xenial framework. Every part of the framework is like with press up framework. It's like in the same naming convention. And every time you see this logo, it means it is licensed. So you at least have to be in a free project or in a private project. But if you switch to company use, you need to pay for the license. So we get into license fees a little bit later, but that's just an identifier for you. If it's this logo, it's like this is the commercial thing, and if it's Tasty or something that's like special or icon stuff, then you know it's you can use it for free. So let's just jump into the really first demo I have, and I will go to File, New Project with a Blazor solution. And there's one.
That's what everybody is waiting for.
Yes, and there's one important thing about all XAF users out there. Blazor will not support web forms at all. So the reason is moving forward with web forms isn't a thing that I really can recommend from a technical perspective to new users, and it doesn't help anybody if I support the old stuff. So I will focus on Blazor and on Winforms only. So
let's just get started with a quick demo. This is a normal 22 XAF Blazor solution wizard. For those,
I think that's on the other monitor.
it's on the other monitor.
Yeah, we're seeing the Nugget website.
I shared the window only. Zoom. Whole. Now.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So let's go back. So I will start with the normal DevExpress 22 XAF Blazor solution wizard. Nothing new, or at least for those that do XAF applications every day. So let's just start and do file new project. Nothing special. I will use XPO for this demo, but it will work with EF Core as well. So I choose no authentication, no special modules for now, because not everything has integrated so far. And let's do the wizard do its job. Thanks, Zoom, for slowing my computer down as hell. I am on full power. So, great. Your XAF application. So let's just do a real quick start here. And you can see there is the module and the Blazor module, and there we have our application. And let's just, I switched to the command line version because my IIS on this machine is always yelling at me for whatever reason. So it's like just a file new project, and let's see what we have. So it should be a totally empty Blazor application, so nothing special. Let's just start Zoom it real quick. No. So it's starting the splash screen, nothing special. Oh, it's laggy. So let's start that quick up, and that now it's launching.
Nice. Are you using Zoom to point, magnify, and do? That's a nice.
I do my best.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it on a Monte Magno video. And I said, hey, I have to start using this for our videos in the YouTube channel.
So now it's, as you all know, with XPO and Blazor, it's like creating a database and all that kind of stuff, but we have no business objects so far. And so we have an empty XAF application with no business objects at all. And bear with me, normally it's like blazing fast. It's just my computer going down under load of Zoom. So let's get started with Xenial. So as you can see with the Blazor solution, or the new project system as they call it, we know there is the CS proj file in every directory, but Microsoft started stopped hiding the project file from us. So it's more approachable and reachable to all of us. And guys, learn MS Build, it isn't that hard. But basically that's our project file for our module project. So I don't want to get into every detail how an XAF application works, but here's the stuff that isn't bound to any platform. So it's platform agnostic, and then now we have the Blazor module, and that thing is like for all our Blazor UI related stuff. So if we want to start using Xenial, for example, we had the list of all the modules with right now. So with framework, token edits, and I will start with token edits. Whoops, sorry about that. So I will just start looking for Xenial. So Xenial, and then I can start with framework. So we can focus on the XAF stuff. And for example, let's start with the token editors. I done a little demo on Facebook with a GIF. So token editors are trying to solve the problem if you have like one value and you want to dense down the UI and you don't want to link and unlink objects. So everybody know how tagging works in for example, in GitHub. So basically that's the kind of problem that the token editors try to solve. So we're installing token editors in the module, in the normal module. So that's adding token editors. Right now we're at a very, very, very early stage. The reason why it's not bound now to the version of XAF is just it's too early to. It's like an alpha preview kind of stuff, but there will be a 1.0 release in January. So now we have the token editors module. I am lazy and I'm not going through the UI. I'm just adding the same stuff here into the Blazor module, but because it's the Blazor project, it's just
.blazor?
the same thing. .blazor. You guessed it. So we can see a couple of seconds later, it should be restored, and now it's installed in the project. So we don't have to do much about that. And no, I'm not focusing on all the toolbar stuff. So I am not going into toolbox and dragging stuff into XAF applications. And there's a very good reason, because we have code to configure that stuff. So we can go the easy route, and as people may know, you can override what's normally hidden in the designer stuff, in the module designer file, like the override, how is it called? The required modules, module types core, and then we can add this some kind to the module type list. That's basically what's happening in the code behind. That's what the thing is that normally occurs if you add from the toolbox. And you can do that, and there are helper methods to do this in Xenial. For example, this end module types is like adding these module types to the other module types, and then you can just type of, if I can type of, and then it's got Xenial.framework.token editors.token editor module, and that will add everything the token editors module has to offer to your own project. But we won't do that, because the thing about Xenial is it's like focused, and you can pick and choose. It's like picking every detail you want to get out of the framework, getting it into your module. And the reason is like performance, and you want to reduce complexity as much as you can. So for example, my module can have like 100 editors, but you are only interested in one. So let's go the other. Let's go the other way. If you are familiar with writing your own editors, that's the first thing we need to do. Is describe the editor descriptors. So it's like editor descriptors, and it's the overload with the editor descriptors factory. And now, and I didn't do anything. So it's everything is like in file new project state. And then I can just say use. And if you type in use, normally you know it's like by me or by convention. And now you can see, okay, there is an objects property editor, a token objects property editor, or a use token string property editor. So let's start with the string one first, because it's easier to understand. So that was the first thing. And the second thing, of course, we have our Blazor module, and then we have to tell the framework itself again. We need to do the editor descriptors. And it sounds repetitive, but of course, how things are layered, we have now a use token editor, token string property editors. Let me zoom in real quick. Use token string property editors Blazor. And there will be and there is a counterpart for Win as well. So let's do that real quick. And of course, it's code centric. So I never started the model editor or something like this. So, but as you saw in the last demo, in the last startup, we don't have anything to show yet. So let's just start with a new persistent object.
So Manuel, we have a question on the chat.
Yeah, sure.
And actually, Jose just joined us. So
yeah, hello, hi.
So they are asking. So we don't have to add to load the SignalSoft module. We just load the editor from the Xenial assembly like it was our own module. That's
you can load the module if you want everything. It's no problem. But it's like
it's not required.
It's not required. You can pick and choose. Of course, there will be some configuration stuff you have to do to set up certain features of a module, but you don't have to pay the cost of the whole module. And you don't need to import or copy the source code, for example, into your project. I did this a lot of times with different controllers and stuff like that. And then I found a bug, and then, but I didn't want to load the whole module. So this is the way to pick and choose. And every small part or editor or thing inside Xenial framework is like designed to be opt-in. So, hi Xavier. So just to add a new XP object. This will work, of course, with entity framework and non-persistent objects as well. So I'm just going with XPO because I don't have to type that much, and just this would be the normal use case for it. So with the normal domain object one, and we have a persistent property, and now we want to use that property editor, and a token editor needs to have some kind of predefined values. So let's start with model default and say predefined values, and you can do that as well in the model editor. No way. And let's Manuel and Mel.
Just put our names. I mean, Jose and Javier. And
yeah, and
all the
Jose
names will be there.
And Javier. That's why. That's me, my sister, you, and then my brother, it's René, and my Annika, my nice, and Niklas. So basically, if we now start the application, nothing would happen. So it's a normal string property editor. And let's just, I hope my computer isn't too slow, but it will show a drop-down list.
Hey,
of
Manuel, just
different
put
values.
average suffer as well.
Huh?
Just put average suffer as well. He's asking
Yeah,
for that.
of course, of course.
And he's the
So let's
server.
do
He's
this.
joining us today here. So, and actually, one of his comments is that the methodology that you have, that we don't need to load the module and everything, he said that we need that for the SAF modules. That would be nice.
Yeah. So what now happens is pretty nothing, because it's basically the normal XAF application. The new editors are loaded, and we should see a normal predefined value editor as you would expect it. So we have like the.
I do have a small question, Manuel. I hope that there's not much noise here because I'm in a taco place right now. But
yeah.
Anyway, my question is, I mean, because I am behind in the meeting, so you can use that editor without adding a new module.
Yes.
You add the NuGet and you can use that stuff, but you pick and choose or use the module. You can choose between.
Okay, if you use the module, it's everything. If you pick and choose, it's just what you select.
Yes, yeah. And as you can see, that's the normal string.
Put myself on mute.
Sorry?
Yeah. Put yourself on mute a little bit, Jose. And then whenever you want to talk, just unmute yourself because we can hear the
noise in the background.
The football game on behind you.
Yeah, but basically that's nothing new. That's predefined values. So for those are not familiar with that stuff, that's just a way you can provide a drop down. But also because it's a string property editor, you can write everything you want to into it. So let's stop that demo and let's switch to that editor. And the thing is, you can use just another attribute. Normally, you would do an editor alias attribute, and there are no more editor aliases. And then you have like blah, blah, blah. But because everything is code-centric, it's like a token string editor. So you can provide that stuff just in line. And
nice.
It's everything focused around being productive there where you want to be productive and keeping the stuff in the code as good as possible. So you're not throwing away something is configured here or in this module or that module. And normally that's fine. And XAF has all the capabilities to do that stuff. But it's a little bit hard sometimes because sometimes you can configure in code, sometimes you need to use strings and you can't remember all that stuff. So it tries to be code-centric. So now we have a token editor.
Nice.
So it's like, let me look at it. It's like one line of code. That thing, okay, predefined values. We have like one overload with one line of code here, one overload with one line of here, and we have two NuGet packages we have to install. So, and that's it.
Nice.
Basically,
let me ask you, Manuel.
Like, again, one question. Sorry, Javier. I will use this moment because the noise.
Go for it.
What is the target framework? Can you use it with Net Standard and Net 462?
I can show you our test metrics. For now, it's for all Blazor stuff, it's everything in Net Standard 2.1. And it's tested against NetCore App 3.1 and 5.0. So it's Net 5. For Winforms, it's tested against Net 4.6.2. I was looking at Xenial framework. And there is the actions. And there's a lot of stuff. So everything is open source. That's something I wanted to encourage people look at it. But it's tested against no, that's the wrong one. It's tested against Net 4.6.1, Net 5. Net 5. It's Net 5, Net 4.6.1 and 3.1. The only thing is I don't support Net5 for Winforms yet, because there is some discrepancy against how NuGet packages work with DevExpress in the Winforms world. I hope that will homogenize with future frameworks, or with Net5 at least, but who knows. But
hey, Manuel,
to be honest, I didn't had any project so far. I really needed Winforms with .NET Core yet. I think it's really exciting, and I want to support it, but it's a little bit difficult right now.
Yeah, and even Microsoft give a lot of love to click ones to use with Winforms.
Yes, yeah. That's especially a thing I want to look into for the demos, because I have a click once module I want to target to Net5, but okay.
Manuel,
we will get into Winforms.
I have another question about the token property editor. So what happens if I don't want to have a hard code values of a string? If I want to say from my list of customers, give me those names so I can select in that token property editor.
Yeah, that's the next thing I will go into, and I hope my demo gods will
Don't
bear
even
with
talk
me.
about them. Don't even talk about them. Don't call them.
So let's hope my demo gods. I will need to minimize you real quick. So we have the domain object 1, and now we will add a domain object 2. So new business object. I hope this will work. So it's a domain object 2, and now for every tagging edit or kind of tag representation, you need to have like a many-to-many relationship between objects. So let's do that real quick. So I will write that by hand, because I can't remember any shortcuts. So the domain object 2 is like domain.
XPCL.
Yeah, I don't have code rush on that machine. Do, and then it's like get collection. Yeah, and then it's domain object 2, and then it should be named off automatically. I hope so. Property name is null. Okay, that's fine. And now we have to give it an association. And now let's just real quick copy and paste that stuff here. So it's association, and it's domain object 1, domain objects 1, and domain objects 1. Okay, so the thing is we need to display something here. So let's just do not persistent property, but just do this. Is this prop XAF still here? XPO. Okay, string, let's call it name. Oh, damn it.
That shortcut is new one for me. Is
yeah,
it yours, or make it yourself?
I think my things are, my shortcuts are really broken. So let's do name, ref name, set property, and then it's the name of name, I guess. All right. Yeah. Okay. That should work. So this is called name. So it's the default property. It's just for the demo sake. So you can configure it that in any kind of way you want to do that. And there's some. And now we want to do to have this as a token edit. So as we learned before, that's the token string edit. There must be a token objects edit. And now we can use that. So there's just one problem with the token editor with collections. So we are defining a property editor for an XP collection, and there is a little caveat about the type system in XAF. I hope I will ease that out in the future, but you can't just specify an editor for any enumerable type or for any list type, as you will, but you can configure it. So, but we didn't add the objects editor. So let's do that first. Just say, okay, let's use token objects editors. And let's do the same thing here in the Blazor module. Blazor. Okay. And for this special type, we need to tell the type system we need an object editor for a specific type. So this will be domain, or is it XP collection? I'm not sure. Let me just do a quick check my notes. But normally it should be domain object 2. Domain object 2. Okay. So let's just start it up. I will really quick check my notes if this is right. Oh, and it didn't build. No. Of course, there's missing a semicolon. Nothing new there. And that's not specific about Blazor or about XAF. That's specific about using a token edit for a collection or a property editor for a collection. No, I did a mistake. I need to specify the full collection identifier as it's XP collection of domain object 2. So, because it can be any type of collection, and then it will check real quick if I have to do that in, yeah, I need to do that as well in Blazor. So let's edit the descriptors factory, use token property editors type for Blazor, and this XP collection of domain object 2. And you don't have to do that. You can specify the editor as well in the model editor. This is just doing it only in code.
Manuel, I put some questions on the chat so I can close my microphone.
If I can see any of those.
Yeah, the question is, does it have to be a non-aggregated collection? And if the token editor works for Winforms?
Yes, yes. Is it for non-aggregated collections? It's for any collection type you can, but I don't see any. I can't see any use case. It's not. It's working for one-to-many. If you have any questions about that, I really love to hear about it. I have no idea. For now, it only works for many-to-many, or for any list type, as you will. So let's start real quick with domain object 2. I hope this works. And you can see we have domain object 1, and we have like a many-to-many relationship. So let's do our naming again. So it's like the Manuel, and then we have save and close, and then we have like Jose, and then we have like awesome XAFer, and let's do a new one, the Melanie. Okay, and now if we switch to domain object 1, we should see the editor, and we don't see it. Damn it! Okay, demo gods. Let's real quick check what mistake I made. That should work. Maybe I demo gods. Okay, let's check this real quick. No, that should work. That should work. It should work as well. Objects, yes. Yes. Okay. Let's just check in the model editor. Not sure. It's the detail view. Okay, it should be there. Oh, it was there. I was just confused, I guess. I was confused. It was there all the time. I was just confused about the layout. So, and there it is. So you can add stuff at runtime. Add a new one. It works. And now it's there. So
Nice.
basically, that's the thing, how you can configure some kind of tagging system, for example. But let's just
let's recap that for a second, Manuel. Show me the 3 lines. Use token object property editor. We use token object property for type. And
yeah, the thing is, you normally don't have to specify this, but you can if you don't do this line. I have no idea what kind of line, what kind of collection you want to specify for now. So this just tells the XAF type system use for any type of XP collection of domain object 2 decorated with that attribute, with the token objects editor. This is an editor for this type, and use it as a default. But you could, for example, don't add that line and just specify it in the model editor, as I showed earlier in the designer.
Nice.
But it's basically it's 2 lines of code, and now you have a token editor for many-to-many relationship.
Nice, nice. Jose, I feel like the only one drinking coffee. Manuel has a beer, you have a beer, and just drinking coffee. That's not fair.
Sorry, what time is it?
Right here is 12 p.m.
Here is 1. I don't know. I mean, I think my phone is 1:21 here. PM. Also, it's
PM.
time.
Okay. So here it's a little bit about 8 p.m. So I think it's fine to drink a beer. So there was another thing that often came up in a lot of projects I used so far, and this is like working with like singleton objects. So it's like you have some kind of settings page or user settings or a business object that only really should exist once in the database. So it's a single row in the database. So that's another small but very useful feature, especially for starters, I guess. So with the domain object 3, I will just do the persistent property. It's a persistent prop, my display name. It's okay, and now we can decorate it with singleton attribute. Okay, and now we have to do 2 things. to use singletons in an application, of course, this is a persistent class. So we need to make sure this class only exists once per application. And to do this, we need to do two things. One is, we all know the database updates. So let's just real quick go into our updater and add the code for the singletons. It's like object space. Oh, it's small. Now it's big. Object space. Ensure singletons. And there is an option you can pass to the singleton. It's called auto commit. So every time this thing will be created, it will be automatically committed to the database if it's not used before. So, but we have another problem now. XAF now wants to display a list view of that class, and for what do we need a list view when we can ensure there's only one object? So we can just say that the framework in the generator updater section, and for all people that know the framework a little bit, this is the part where we can override the behavior of how the model gets created. And you can see there is like the use singleton navigation items. Okay, so that gets sure that a singleton navigation item is created. And there's another thing we need to do.
Manuel, let me interrupt you.
Yes.
That is amazing. I want that editor because you have to do so many stuff for singleton.
You have to click in 105 different boxes to get that behavior. You can configure everything, but it's so generalized, and this is more like a practical and more a behavior-driven approach to some parts of the application or parts of the framework. And the
thing is that they are so common that there should be already there in the framework, but they are not. You always have to do the same boilerplate code all the time.
Yes. And that's the thing about Xenial. It is opinionated, of course, but it's built about best business practices or best UX practices, if you like so. So, and there is another thing we can do, and that's we have the updaters with the editors, use singleton controller, and that will inject the controller that is handling all the lifecycle methods and all the kind of stuff, and you can shut it on or off with just like comment it out, and it will work or it will not work. So it's like the opt-in thing that's really nice about working with Xenial. So that's the thing. It's micro granular, but you can pick and choose. And I will make, for example, there will be an easier option than switching on all the features in different places. But for now, that it without having to change anything of the structure, I need to opt in somewhere. But later on, you can just pick and choose features, and it will be on at the right places. So let's check real quick.
Guys, sorry because I'm late to this, and I guess you already explained this. Is this the part of the open source framework, or is the paid part?
As I told earlier, it is open source, but it's not free. It is free for private use and organizational use, but it's not free for companies. But I will get into pricing again in January. But I am picking a price point about 30 to 50 bucks per developer a month. But there's everything included. So all modules, nevertheless, how small, how big, support is included, feature requests are included, ideas are included, and it will be supported back at least 2 major releases back. So from the time of this recording, only 20.2 is supported, but if 21.1 gets out, 22 will be supported. So it's 4 major releases, or 2 majors, 2 minors.
It's good that you have that, because every time I try to make something reusable, I have this strange illness where I want to make it compatible with everything.
Yeah.
From the past to the future, but you cannot do that.
So my version range, if we get at DevExpress real quick, and just go to the download center. Yeah, I think that's the best part. It will be supported for every minor, so for every patch release that is 2 years old. So speaking time of writing, I'm only supporting 22 upwards, but in the future I will support 22, 21, 19, 2 for every patch release down, and 21 for every patch release down. So you have almost, what is the latest version? It's more than 2 years. So I think that's a good deal. And of course, I'm not a big company. Just talk to me if you have troubles with an older version. I try to support it into the future. So, but I can't guarantee if it will be for free. But that's the package you get. So, but that's just basic XAF.
I have another question, Manuel.
Yes.
I'm full of questions today because I'm somehow in a holiday. So yes, I can think of that. Is Tasty included with Xenial, or there are different products?
The thing is, Tasty. I talked about the product matrix before. Everything with a cute icon, and that is not prefixed by .framework, or every time you see this logo, it's paid. Every time you see a cute logo, it's for free.
Okay, I think that you guys are not good salesmen. We need to show the product, wow everybody, yes, and then we get into the price structure.
Yes. Okay. So back to the demo. Now we've done everything so far with attributes and configuration and all that stuff, and that doesn't change a lot. But there are more things about Xenial, especially around domain-driven architecture, I want to call it, or is DDD, or more a code-centric approach. I never opened the model editor except for once checking if my editor was configured correctly. So let's delete those. I just delete those in my module. I'm brave. So let's real quick check if application is still starting. I guess it should. But now I am out of luck how to configure stuff. And most of the time for simple applications, you don't need to touch the model editor at all. I don't say the model editor isn't useful. The model editor is an amazing tool. But if you're working together with more people in a team, it's easier to reason about and work in code than it is in XML. It's easier to diff, it's easier to reason about, it's easier to get to see side effects, for example. So that especially for code reviews. So, but for now, we always configured stuff with attributes only. And there's the last feature I want to show live is those are the model editors, the model builders. And I wrote about them ages ago. July 2013. And back in the time, it was like Power Fruit Model Builder and blah, and it wasn't in really alpha state, and the APIs wasn't that good, and the source code as well is still online, and all source code will be is online from Xenial as well. But what is the idea behind model editors? If you ever worked with entity framework, there's this the fluent configuration part where you can keep your POCOs clean of entity framework and all the attributes and all the clutter, and you can just use Fluent API to use that to configure how stuff is working. So let's do that real quick for the domain object one. And let's call that just model builders or the model builder.cs. That's just a naming convention, because now we can nest files if we choose the right configuration. It doesn't work in my Visual Studio, but should work. Normally you should see them nested together. But okay, that's just a editor thing. So let's call that domain object one model builder, and let's inherit from model builder from type of, let's move that window away, of domain object one. Let's import some namespaces. Need to introduce a constructor, and now we can, for example, we can override the build method, and now we can configure a whole ton of stuff. And the neat thing about model builders is this too large, or is this fine, guys?
I can see it fine.
Okay, so the neat thing is with fluid configuration, we can we have IntelliSense to help us what's possible, what's not possible, and we don't have to do a lot of documentation lookup. So it's really a productive environment to be in. So for example, let's change the caption of this. So it says has caption. We all know it's domain object one. Let's check it. Xenial is awesome for now.
Let me tell you, that is really awesome, because this is my dream. Model in code, 100% in code.
100% in code, and you can do if and else and all that stuff. But I will get into this. And now we have to tell the framework to use that. And there's one special method in XAF for that. This is customized types info, and it's used in the framework itself to do the calculate persistence alias stuff. So let's do that and see a new domain model builder. And now we tell it the types info, but that's tedious because we have an iTypes info. So just do a model builder. And there's a static method that's called create, and we can pass it the type of the model builder. And there's all kind of stuff with overloads and model builder and builder managers and all that stuff. But we go the easy route for this demo, and then we just call build. So you can pick and choose whatever you want. So create a model builder, pass the types info, and tell it to build. And if demo gods are are happy, we should see the caption. Xenial is also, or something like this. Any questions?
I have one.
While it's loading?
Okay, what about the model difference for the users? Are they created in XML and stored in the database also? What will happen in runtime?
That's a good question. I have some kind of trouble. Let me really quick check what's happening. Wasn't it loading? User differences, good question. User differences are loaded way beyond all that type initialization stuff. So, okay. I'm confused. Maybe that's a bug in my last module. So let's do it the way I normally do it. Let's do it new. Shouldn't be the thing. Domain object 1. Bad demo. Demo gods. That's the thing it should do behind the scene. And then it should call build. Or is it called build up? No, it's called build. Oh, I think I know. That's the thing about if you don't use those features often. So let's do it the normal way, because we have to tell the framework to refresh that thing. So go the normal route. It's like a public class. Let's call it module XAF Builder Manager. That's XAF Builder Manager. I can read all, and then we can override. I'm sorry about that. And now we can.
Hey, don't be sorry, Manuel. Jose and I always say the same thing.
Demo gods are
but
sometimes.
If you see the Alan Ritchie, the guy from China, he's really good. He does really good work for the Xamarin community. But I have not seen a demo that he has presented for the community that has worked.
Yeah,
his job is amazing, and he's really brilliant. But he has no luck doing demos. Every time that he presents something, everything breaks, nothing works. So
sometimes it is like this. Yeah, this should work at least. So let's give that another try. The only difference is now we have a manager. Normally you would use a manager for that, because this is like the orchestration class where all the builders come together, because you don't have one builder. You have like almost for every type you're using a builder.
So I just realized we have a lot of comments on the chat. I don't know why I wasn't seeing that. Whenever you have a chance, Manuel, or at the end,
every time it's building. Every time it's building.
Yeah, just browse over, because I didn't realize we have a lot of things there, and I was just seeing your demo, not following that. And I also say to average suffer, if you see that we don't answer, just feel free to unmute and ask again, just in case we missed that one.
So I can't see the chat, so no, it's not working. Damn it! What's wrong? Let's step into let's step into debugging this. Should we? I'm not sure if this works. So let's debug that stuff. That's live coding. Debugging. Don't enable just my code. Go to symbols. Load from NuGet.org. Okay. set a breakpoint. Start. Maybe it's not working in Blazor. I have no idea. Or oh, maybe it was working. No. I set the caption, or did I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, caption. Let's do another quick check. Oh. Nobody sees this? What was it called? Persistent property? Persistent property. Caption. Let's just real quick check that back. It should work. Did I miss anything? No. No. It should work fine. Okay. Any questions now so far on the chat?
Yeah, there are a few. There are a few there. Let me go to the top so we can go out there. Dun, 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 dun. So quickly, this is for the token object. The caption of the token will be the two-string representation or the default property.
It's the default property, yeah.
Perfect.
By default, you
Okay.
can configure it.
So then it's Jose. They say that you reveal your secret NuGet feed.
There is no secret NuGet feed. It's
Yeah,
online. You
that
can
was
use
kidding
it right
there.
now. But
So
again,
no, it says
go ahead.
that the has caption sounds more like a question that maybe to say set caption.
Yes, I am with you there. It is like always with fluid syntax. It's like assigning a property or assigning some kind of attribute to something. So it's like has caption or with something or is something. So it's the you can call it set caption, but you also can leave me feedback on that. So let's jump real quick into that. Now it's loaded all the simple stuff. Let's really quick check. I just need to check. No, it's called. Don't need every abstraction. Yeah, leave me feedback. You can leave me any feedback on the everything Xenial related is online on GitHub. It's github.com/Xenial-IO. So it's everything that's supported by me, and there's the Xenial framework section, and we have the discussions panel. Or just file an issue if you mean that has caption, but for example has image name. It's like the model builder is attaching something to your domain object. So this thing has this thing, and if simple servers are
naming is hard.
Naming is the hardest thing in programming. There's nothing harder than programming than naming things.
So the other question is, if we pick and choose and we don't have to use Xenial modules, we will need to register the new attributes with get regular types in our module, like the single tone attribute and the token editor attribute.
Yes, But that's the thing about there is I'm doing some experiments to do some feature slicing. We just have to call one method, and you would probably have to derive from a different module class. So it's not module based, so it would be Xenial module based or Xenial feature module or something like this. And then you can feature slice into that with a single line. But that's experimental for now. So, but there will be good documentation on that. Right now, it's not the API is documented, so it's not that little API right now. But I didn't dig into document every feature in great detail. But if you ever saw, for example, the tasty docs, I really try to be very, very descriptive about every step you need to take. So docs should be really, really, really a first-class citizen.
Nice. Yeah, documentation, one thing that is really important, especially for anyone starting with the
God, don't want to wait for any symbol loaded. So just step into it. Where's my error? Okay, that's fine. Download. So source code is there, and there is a lot of stuff with source link. You can step into the source code. So it's nothing hidden. Yes. Does anybody know how to suppress that warning? So there it is. Build a builder, build a builder, build a builder, build for each builder, build. Okay, build, builder, build builder.
Hey, Jose. Can I make you a host? Because I will have to leave like in 10 minutes. I have to put my daughter to sleep. But I will come back and see the end of the video. I think that we could do this more often. We'll do like a Xenial series, like we go through all the document property editor, then we do the model builder and so on, because I'm really excited of everything that is coming, and I think people will too. And not only that, I think that there is a lot to cover here. And I honestly think that what we should do is show everything that Manuel has built that is now looking amazing, looking really promising. And at the end, the pricing method, I'm pretty sure Manuel will put a website, a pricing strategy, I don't know, anything there that people can look for that. But the most important now is to see all the goodies that we have inside the Xenial framework. So I'm gonna make you a host. I will still be here for like 10 more minutes, but after that I will definitely have to go. I have my daughter that I have to put to sleep.
Do we need to cancel the Twitch stream or?
No, that shouldn't cancel anything. That shouldn't cancel anything, hopefully.
Make me host now so we know that it's still working.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
For the demo.
Okay, I put you as a host.
So. Yeah, it's fine. I will quick switch to the feature center. I have no idea what mistake I'm making there, but because there was the question if this is working in Winforms as well. So let's real quick start .NET Run, the feature center, and I will switch to Visual Studio Code here. So we're basically the same thing, and let's just look into the demos. For example, with the model editor. Maybe it just has caption that has a failure. I have no idea. But basically, we have a demo object here. It's model builder basic property demos, and it's a domain component. And let's specify a caption. Here it is. So I did nothing different, but I am not 100% sure with what I've done wrong later. Sorry, are you still here?
I'm here.
Yeah. So, okay. So now the same demo, or almost the same demo. This is the feature center, by the way. The Winforms feature center, and now you can clearly see that the caption is working. Maybe it's something that doesn't work in Blazor. I'm not 100% sure. Let's check, because the feature center is online. You can use the should work there as well. It works. I have no idea what I've done wrong. Maybe it's the last build I thrown out. So but go back into Visual Studio Code and go back into the model builders. You can see I have a model builder class, and it's derived from model builders demo, and you registered it in the types info. And now you have like a fluent syntax. You can specify almost, or you can specify any attribute you like that you normally would apply in the.
One question, Manuel. Are all
Yes.
the values strings? I mean, when you set the value, is the value string, or you can use types, strong types? Like, for example, when you have to choose a property editor, that is a type.
Yes, I will get into that. I will get into that. But the thing is, okay, there is just one attribute here, and there is there's just a class, and there's nothing in there, and the domain component attribute is special because it's special treated by the framework to speed things up. It's a performance optimization. You can't specify a domain component attribute, at least not that it was possible in the past. But okay, it's just one attribute you have to decorate with, and it's just the normal class, and there's nothing in there so far besides normal code. And now what but what this all does is I specify the caption, I specify the default class options attribute, and I also specify the image name, and I also specify who guessed, of course, own attributes that are supplied by Xenial itself. So the demo I did before with the singleton attribute, of course, work in the model editor as well. So it's like doing the whole thing round and round.
I mean, that's a beauty, because in any case that everything changed regarding SAF, you just copy and paste that, and you have your model.
Yes, and the neat thing is, the neat thing about that is, I will just switch real quick to Xenial framework demos. And this should start out. So like the neat thing is, with that code configuration, even if DevExpress decides to break an existing API with a breaking change, for example, me or you as well, because you can extend model editors yourself. Do like a one-time configuration and fix the whole project. For example, there's a missing attribute, no problem. I will get into that in a second, but it's just, for me, it's a little bit easier than in code, in Visual Studio Code. So let's check real quick back at the business objects and the model builders. And we're at the model builder demo. And your question was about specifying the editors, for example. So the thing is, we have like for now we only have specified class attributes. That's not that useful. Well, it is useful, but it's not that useful. What about the properties and all the kind of stuff you can do with properties? So I have no idea. We have like here we have like one string property. If Visual Studio wants to.
You know, Manuel, that what I like the most is that you can do it in code. You can use if,
yes.
switch, web services, whatever you want there.
Yes.
It's code.
You can do it in configuration. You can do it with environment variables. You can do whatever you like. That's the neat thing.
For me, the good thing about well, I would say that one of the advantage of our offices is that Javier is really oriented to the model and really oriented to code.
Yes.
So now we have both worlds, because sometimes there are some stuff that you cannot do in code that you can do in the model, at least without Xenial.
Yeah.
So for me, I will be the first to download and try and put tickets, because I don't use the model at all. If it cannot be done in code, it's like, Javier, give me a hand with this.
So let's do a quick comparison about this. We have like this model builder basic property editors demo, and we have exactly the same clone of that, and that's using another editor I want to show in a couple of seconds. Is this the web view editor? But as you can see, there's the URI string, and we have the immediate post data attribute here, and we have the URI property here, and basically those are linked together. And I have here a model builder as well for this web editor demo. And as you can see here, I can specify stuff for properties. So for here, I have for the URI property, who guessed, using the web property editor. And
that is really nice.
And let's show a really quick demo how this object behaves, so we don't jump around too much and focus on one aspect of the demo. It's like when it starts up, I really need to stop the usage of the enable just my code and disable the symbols, because my notebook is dying on me. Let's close that real quick. Let's close that real quick, because we already have that open here. Close that. Okay, so now we can open that up in first the build stop. Oh, it's so hard to do that in online. So the startup project, and just start it up here real quick again, so we can compare it. And I hope that will work.
Which computer are you using now, Manuel?
It's the Surface. It's a Surface laptop 3 with, I have no idea, but it's going crazy. And let's still check. I think it's 99%.
But you have the U type of CPU.
Yeah, it's the U, of course, but it's the i7. But I think it's getting so hot right now, because it's on 100% for almost more than an hour. And it's not really happy with me today. So let's check the demo real quick. We have this editor's web view form, and it's basically, when we look at the code, it's just an object and it's a URL string. That's the thing you see up there. And we have down there this ominous URI thing that's actually a web browser, and that's a WebView 2 component. So let's go to devexpress.com, and it's immediate post data thing.
Man, that's amazing. Actually,
I saw your demos about WebView 2 and the videos, and I thought I give it a shot, and it's working really, really great so far. And the
no,
only reason
I think that it's a shame that you don't speak Spanish at all, because we need to make a review of this for the Spanish people, Spanish speaking.
we should, yeah.
Because I think that there is a lot of stuff that they ask, and I have seen in this demo.
Yeah. So, but let's look at that code real quick. What about not having a text field only? Let's do the predefined values sample. So it's like a lookup box, or like the token edit here, where you have like predefined stuff with the model builder.
Manuel, I will be in mute because there is some music here.
I heard
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
Yes.
It's reggaeton.
So let's do the demo real quick. So we have the URI, and of course, what have we using the WebView Property Editor? So using the WebView Property Editor, okay, seems fine. But what about the string property editor that we saw above? So it's the m dot, I have no idea how I called it. So it's the URL string or URI string. And m just stands for member. That's the URI string. And now, because we know it's a string property, we can just do predefined values. And instead of doing like a full bar, and we need to remember to use semicolons, we also can use a new array, for example, and can say, okay, do HTTPS, let's do www.github.com/Xenial-io, and of course we do HTTPS Xenial-io, and of course we do HTTPS devexpress.com, and last but not least, let's try Google, HTTPS google.com. And as you can see, it's just an array. It's an array of strings. We have a couple of overloads we can use for that kind of stuff. But with this small change, normally we should now see a drop-down list like you would when you do the predefined value stuff in the model editor or with an attribute. At least I hope so.
Manuel, I will be waiting on the chat.
Yeah.
Private to you because of the sound.
I need to look at the chat. I hope I can. Is it in the? It's really hard. Chat. No. There it is. No. Chat. There it is. So.
I think you should leave full screen to see the chat.
Start again quicker.
Go ahead, Manuel.
Okay. Has caption sounds more than question, set caption, or this is secret feed, blah, 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 blah. Attributes. Gitter just did it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, and the thing is, because you are in the pre-starting phase of the application, you can apply any attribute you want in code. So, for example, those attributes or those values don't need to be hard coded, and they don't need to be in the model in the XAF model. So and everything part is done before the model even gets created. And that's a powerful thing with the model editors. And if I'm lucky, ta-da. So that's just a basic thing what you can do with the model builders. Just giving you a glimpse how to do stuff. So for other editors, for example, and I pick one editor especially, is the criteria property editor from the FXpress. So it's like the criteria property editor, FXpress. Express. Yeah. No, there it is. Second one. And there's like how to use this thing and blah blah blah, and is this the real thing? Defining the editors and type converters and all the kind of stuff and object type and blah, and then you have this, and then you need to specify the criteria options attribute. So this will not work. It's just for the demo's sakes, because I think it's a really great idea. So let's do the URI string again. You can specify multiple attributes, of course. So you also can use the criteria property editor or criteria using criteria property editor. And as you can see, and I just will move the chat over here and do the zoom in on the IntelliSense. So it's like you need to specify an additional attribute telling what's the member name, where the object type comes from. So normally this would require two attributes. You have to specify the criteria property editor attribute, and also you have to specify the criteria options attribute. And now you have to pass the object type and the parameters name. And now you never can misconfigure your properties, because the code don't even let you to compile that stuff if it isn't configured correctly. Those are all built in editors. So
Manuel, check the chat.
Of course, custom property editors, not the built-in ones. No problem. It doesn't follow any special rules. You can either say use editor alias and just use the editor alias stuff as you would with normal property editors, or, and now is the neat thing, you can specify you can specify custom extension methods. Like for here, I have just let's do editor, and you can see those are all string property editors. Those are written by me. So those are the built-in editors. They are here, and that's the thing with the pick and choose stuff. So you can use just the editor here, or with the token editor, or whatever. But I try to provide shims for every editor that's out of the box in the framework, like for example, the rich text property editor. But you easily can do that on your own because it's just an extension method. Let's really look into the code, and I can show it on GitHub. It's easier because then I can share, for example, the line where it's used. So for example, go to the token editors, and we have here the editor aliases. And then we have the normal editor alias stuff, and we register that stuff, and it's nothing too special, but you have to use editor aliases to use that. And then we have, for example, an editor extensions where we say, okay, it's a normal extension method style. And now we can say, okay, for every property builder that is type of string for any class type, use the property editor. And now we specify the extension method part, and then, okay, that's just internal for throwing for nulls. And then we say just with attribute. And then you can specify any attribute that you like. So it's not tied to extension methods at all. You also can say, okay, for yodel string, and then add attribute, use with attribute, sorry. And then I can say, okay, new component model. I have no idea what attribute, browsable voice, for example, browsable attribute voice. So you can apply any attribute that you like. The syntactic sugar that comes with the attributes is just extension methods on the right types, because there are built-in types, for example, for strings. So there are special extension methods that are only targeting strings. For example, is password only makes sense for strings, predefined values. Or for example, there should be display and stuff, and or for example, editor aliases like time and datetime classes, or Boolean property editors, or byte array, decimal, for example. You can specify a display format that is used for every decimal, or for just a type of decimal, for example, percentage. What about does it filter by types? Yes, it does. The compiler does the stuff. What will happen to other model default attributes created in code? The same rules apply as with the types info system. If you add or replace attributes, because basically it's adding attributes. You can also remove attributes at runtime. For conflicting attributes, depends on how the underlying feature is implemented. Any more questions on that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so basically about the type system, does it filter by type? That's the thing. Let's do a quick thing about the domain types, or different domain types. We have only strings here and the URI property, for example. But that's the neat thing about using domain types. In this case, it's URI, because we only can apply the web view property editor to URIs, because there is no string implementation yet. So that's the same thing about, for example, with, so it's only applying to URI types. But we can, for example, do the same stuff for, I don't want to start. I just want to show a quick demo about decimals, for example. So we have a single property. It's like a decimal. It's called price, and we have a prop decimal that is percentage. And the neat thing about all that kind of stuff is Okay, let's do for m dot press, and we have a has display format, and I have no idea how to specify display formats, so it is like o dot c for currency, small or large c, no idea, and then we have percentage, and we have like o dot p. What about registering an editor for Winforms, a different one for Blazor or web forms? That's built into the framework. That's used by that's using the editor alias system. So basically, it's only applying the editor alias attribute. So you also can, and I did before, using this property editor, and this is just applying like editor alias. And then it's token editor aliases. Or it's like Xenial dot framework dot not feature center framework dot token editors dot editor aliases dot token string property editor, or in this case it's objects editor. But the neat thing is you can specify editors with a full qualified type in a different module, for example. So just do the editors demo real quick. Where are my price and percentage? So it's 0 and 0, and it's not working because I'm not hitting the right thing. So it's 0 blah. But you can see they are styled differently. They should at least. No, they aren't. Because I have no idea how to use display format. never done that before, or didn't do that for a long time. So let's check real quick. Display format. Display format should be fine. Any idea what went wrong? It's large C. No, the bracket is missing. It was the wrong bracket. C, P. What will happen with any other model default attributes created in code? What about using other? For about the other editors, you can using property editor, for example, and then you can specify a type. For example, in a module type, in a Winforms module, for example, then you can just say type of my property editor. But you can register multiple property, multiple model builders in, for example, the module, and one in the Win module, for example, or in the Blazor module. So you can go by type name. But I would prefer, and I would encourage you not to do that, because it has a performance hit, but it's not that hard if your project is easy, or type safety is more critical. Then you go that route as well. Yeah, so I saw it. It's like it's large C and large P, or small p. No, I have no idea. And that's again the reason why I like the model builders. Okay, there we go. Now we have currency, and now we have of course the edit mask isn't right, but the display format is right. Okay, so we normally need to specify both. So let's fix that real quick, and let's do an extension method for decimal types real quick. So public static class my domain formats. Let's do the public static I property builder of decimal of T model use currency. And we have now, of course, we need to specify the T model. And now, of course, you can do everything what the compiler wants you to do. And now we need to break up stuff here because there's a little bit too little room. It's an I property builder of decimal with a T model. Let's call it builder. And now we have to specify two attributes. So let's do a return builder. Now it has display format of 0C for currency, and it has a display mask, edit mask. Edit. Oh, I forgot the edit mask. No, I forgot really the edit mask. Okay, let's fix that real quick with model default, edit mask. Does anybody know how to specify edit mask for currency? See?
You're asking to the wrong guy.
I have no idea. That's the thing. But the neat thing is I can just now say use currency. And now I've applied two attributes at once. And just for demo's sake, has caption. I'm the currency field. And let's just do a quick copy and paste. I think it's P, and it's P. I'm the percent field. Now, of course, we need to rename that percent. And now we have a use currency. And now we have a use percent. And of course, you can pass around options and parameters and then do all that kind of stuff. But now we have applied three attributes, and we have always the same structure. For example, short date time, long date time. You always have to figure out how that works, or you go really, really, really low into XAF internals and write, for example, a model generator updater that does all the kind of stuff for you. But there is no way to differentiate a decimal from a decimal. But it could be a price or it could be a percentage. But now you have a way to specify those in an easy way. Oh, it works. Hey, it works. Guessed right. Is this all part of the core of Xenial? Yes. Besides editors, everything is in Xenial itself. So framework itself is all about this configuration stuff. For all the editor stuff, all are separated. So as you would expect. So there's the token editors or the web view editors or the XPO stuff, of course. So to get started with builders, you just install Xenial framework and you are good to go. But of course, because it's with the new project system, if I can open again the first installation demo, was this one? It's just adding the stuff you want and it will cascade down. So for my first demo, I just installed token editors. It was like Xenial.fra was the thing. So for the builder stuff, you don't need to do anything at all. Just install Xenial framework. And for XPO related stuff, you will need XPO, but that's way around above and beyond all the stuff I can cover today. But for example, if you want to go with token editors, install token editors in the normal module and in the platform unagnostic module, and the Blazor or the Win module in your Win module or the web view. You don't need to do anything special around this. So it's basically adding the module here and here, and everything should be good to go. There is a Xenial all planned, and there is a Xenial all Winforms and Blazor planned, and there is source code from the internals, but I need to cherry pick a lot of stuff because I don't want to bring everything I wrote out into the public. So everything that's online right now, and you see in the on NuGet, and of course in the GitHub, is free, and it is not free, but is that the stuff that's integrated right now. I can show you an older package, but I have to cherry pick. That's the hard part about all that kind of stuff. So let's see where it is. It's the Xenial one, and I need to do a lot of searching here. Framework, and you have all the kind of stuff. And for there is Xenial framework all, and it will do all the plumbing for you. So you can just pick and choose and go for this. And after that, you will be able to use the designer, but I won't use the designer if I have a IntelliSense for me. So
for me, it's all about code and designer, because don't use designer because you can do refactors.
It slows you down where you don't need it, for example.
And also, if you're not using the strings for the queries, why should you use it for the model?
Yeah. But basically, that's everything I wanted to show for today, I guess. There are some kind of demos right now around the layout builders, but I think that's a good thing for the next talk. But it's going slow and steady against the layout stuff. So you can specify layouts in code, and I have some. I showed a demo earlier, I think almost a year ago or something like this. I have no idea. But I need to cherry pick a lot because there was so much change, and .NET 5 started and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned, but it's going quicker than I thought. So the last thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is about pricing. So it will be free for every organizational project and for private use, but it will be limited for corporate use. So, and
is there a place where we can go and check the licensing rules?
Yes, that's a good thing, a good question. For now,
we will do a demo in Spanish. We want to refer everyone for licensing. Check here.
Yeah, the thing is, for now, the thing that would happen or that will happen, for example, here, I have some trouble for whatever reason today with my licensing server. It will build in trial mode, and there will be no restrictions, but there will be warnings in the console output. And the reason, the main idea behind how licensing will work is there will be a CLI tool. And as you can see, it will inject a little snippet of code into every of your modules, and also inject the code for the license check or the license unlock. And for whatever reason, today the license check doesn't work, but it won't fail on you, but it will just work in trial mode. So the only thing it will prevent you is after your trial period will expire. So you have 30 days of trial, and you can ask for a longer trial period. After that, it will fail release build and maybe get you some next screens. But basically, you can just try and start to play around with it. Until I have opened the billing process, I will not switch on license validation.
So I guess more that's everything for today.
But it would be easy, like I have in my demo here. I hope it's still there. Let's close all tabs. Let's check real quick. Is it working here? I have no idea. Xenial license, Xenial dot framework dot license check. Now, normally you have an internal class inside your assembly that will do all the license checking, and you just say Xenial license dot load. And the only thing you have to do is, like, there is a command line tool. You have to check in. I can't show that in the demo today because again my license server is for whatever not working. But that's everything you need to do. So it's like a .NET tool install Xenial -lick. I have no idea if it's working here on this machine. No. And then it would be Xenial.login, Xenial-lick login, and then you get redirected to the identity server I talked in the very beginning. So the identity Xenial.io, and then you can just register and request a free trial, or you have a paid license, and then everything will be managed by that tool for you. So it's basically 2 steps. But if you're just going for NuGet and oh, okay, let's install that module, it will provide you into the right direction and into the right path. But you can't publish an application without trial license, without any license. That's the thing.
Javier, I'm glad you're back because there's a huge noise here.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay. Hi. Can you just discuss for 1 or 2 seconds, because I need to take a quick bathroom break.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
I can give you 2 minutes here right now.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
So
Let's open up the demo real quick back, especially with that. No. With the demo.
So Jose, well, you have a lot of noise there. So I was going to ask you, what did I miss?
A lot and interesting stuff, but I guess we need to do a review in Spanish for this because I like the code approach. You know that. You know that more than anyone.
Yeah, I know. Every time that you need to use the model, I'm the one who take care of that part. So I'm surprised the average suffer has to stick with us till the end. He's still here. Yeah, Xenial has a lot of nice things. I will definitely like to play with it a little bit more, and then we can do some videos in Spanish and review the whole set of features that Manuel has in there.
Yeah, I was telling Manuel that after we do the video in English, we should do the video in Spanish also, because a lot of people might not look the video in English, but it's really interesting.
It is. Do you see what I'm wearing?
I envy you.
Yeah, I know. So, okay, Manuel, I think that is back. We're still in the model builder, I see.
Oh, I'm back. So you were discussing.
The video in Spanish.
Yeah, we were just saying that we will play a little bit with Xenial later, and then we can do a video in Spanish, so also the Spanish community can see all the nice things that we have here.
Yeah, I really think for the model builders, and it's just a quarter I could have shown in that time, and there will be a lot of demos around this stuff. Demo gods were not pleased with me with the model builders for whatever reason. I need to research why this happened, but I really see the huge value in, for example, especially for the model builders. You can define it in code, so it is like there is no unneeded magic strings. For example, like with the model default attribute, like here. Note to me, let's file a bug. Issues. There is no edit mask has edit mask builder. And you can encapsulate like the domain types with stuff that goes together. For example, you can say, okay, for every currency attribute, okay, let's use the with editor alias, or use editor alias using editor alias my percentage currency, my currency editor, and now it will be consistent above around all the types you apply this line of code to. So that's the really powerful thing. You can apply 3, 4, 5, 600 attributes at once with one line of code. Any more questions? Because then I will switch back to video mode.
The average suffer say that you should use diapers, no need for breaks.
So quick roundup, what's coming next for Xenial? I talked a little bit about layout builders. So layout builders are coming, but I'm rewriting them again with the new record types. So let's just.
So Manuel, if you have to put like a feature list, you will say it as property editors, model builder, layout builder. Like, can you give us a quick rundown of those?
It is currently, at the moment, it's relatively easy described. Everything that is in the feature center I showed earlier. Did I close it? Yes, I closed it again. .NET run. So out of the box, right now there is the singleton thing. There are a lot of module updaters around application options. So that's the thing I didn't even shown yet. The singleton stuff, the token editors for Blazor and for Winforms. The application options I talked earlier. Application. Oh, my studio really. Application options. That's the thing where you can just specify the stuff you normally would specify for an application, like the data access mode and layout mode. So data access mode is server, for example, or it's like the global stuff you can configure in your base module without opening the model editor. Those smaller things, the model builders, and those two editor modules. So the token editor and the oh, there it is. So the token editor and the web view is for now the only features, and the next feature will be the layout builders. So you can specify your layouts in code with loops, with conventions, and all that kind of stuff. Coming in January.
Nice. So it's coming in January as a.
You can use it right now. It just will yell at you at the in the error list with warning. Not here, but on the other demo I showed, because there are no license restrictions whatsoever in technical terms right now. So you can use it. You can just go with it. For now, only the latest Dev Express version is supported. So it's 20.2.4 and upgoing. So if you have any new project or are in a later project, documentation will be out in a couple of days, and you can play around with the demos as well. So everything at I opened it earlier, was like framework.featurecenter.xenial.io. It's a long URL for now, but you can play with the stuff. So let's make that real quick, really big. For any Blazor progress or any other progress, because the feature center will be like a living documentation. So, and there will be a download for the feature center as well.
Nice. What about the web view that I'm seeing in the feature center?
In the Blazor one?
Yeah.
Of course, there is no web view 2 for Blazor, because this is a whole browser. We are already in the browser. There is no need to do a web view in that case. But I am experimenting with a Blazor component that's built around an iframe or a similar technique where you can embed another website or parts of a website. But it's likely to be an iframe. But I'm not 100% sure if this is something people really need. But let's have a conversation about that, if this is a cool feature. It doesn't hurt. So it's just a string property editor. Nothing changes because it's just not a cool browser. But maybe it's a thing with an iframe. I have no idea. I didn't play around with it. That's a thing about building Xenial with Xenial. It's like building the feature center around the features with it, so I can dog food it to itself. So that the main idea behind WebView was like providing a direct documentation to several features, like the model builders, because model builders are like, okay, where's the difference between this and the advantages of model builders or layout builders? Because on the end user side, the application looks the same.
Okay, so what are the time frame? End of January, middle of January?
Starting next year, it will be for it's right now in private or public preview as you like, and I will provide some discounts for the first year. So for everybody going for me on that route, I have not a 100% clear price point for the early adopters, but it will be something like $5 to $10 per month to use that stuff in your
Right.
production app. And it will be supported. So of course, and you can give feedback and orientation and yeah.
Nice.
But I rather start small with the feature set and then grow with all the stuff around it, because it's there's a lot to cover in XAF, and there is like tons of modules coming I didn't show yet. So
Definitely. So one last thing, Manuel. Before average suffer, he was asking where did we promote this, and honestly, we didn't. We just decided at the last minute to do this Twitch and just to go over Xenial. So I think that for next one, we should definitely plan it ahead so people can know when are we going to do it, and if they want to show up, they can be here and discuss and ask questions. And so again, let's set up an offline later on that is online. We're gonna chat or something. Let's find another time so we can continue this discussion. And so in Xenial, let's do it with a few days beforehand so we can let the community know, and let's go from there.
Sure.
And again, thank you for the demo. I can't wait to see the rest of it and to play with it myself.
So let's stop my screen sharing real quick. So cool stuff. So yeah, I think that's everything to say. It was spontaneous to do that short Twitch, because we were discussing yesterday and just rolling in feedback real short, and it's I will go into holidays tomorrow, so until end of the year, more or less. So I thought it was a good idea.
Awesome. It looks awesome, and it looks really promising. So thank you for the demo, and thank you for everyone who, especially to the average suffer, who stuck to us till the end. And see you guys in the next Twitch.
Ciao, guys.